You know, when you're away from the spotlight, you have time to think about what really matters. The spotlight! God, I am glad to be back!
Hello! Welcome to the official Hacks podcast from HBO Max and Same Boat Studios. I'm Lucia Aniello, co-creator and co-showrunner of Hacks. Joining me are the other brilliant Hacks creators and showrunners and future EGOT winners Jen Statsky and Paul W. Downs.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for introducing me as such.
Future EGOT. Damn.
Book it now. We are so excited to be back hosting the podcast this season. We missed you. And we are not alone. Joining us is a very special guest. You may have heard of her, Jen Smart, who plays none other than Deborah Vance. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Lucia.
How are you?
Good.
We are very excited to get into this week's episode with you. But first, we have some news.
Yes, dear listeners, as you may know, you may have heard, this is our final season of Hacks. I know, and it is
You
bittersweet.
chose to tell me when I'm...
Could you imagine? Could you imagine we shocked you?
Jean's like, what?
Let's record exactly what her response is when we say this is the end. But we're excited to talk about all 10 episodes together on this podcast.
We're back, baby.
But before we dive into the episode, Jen, just generally, we wanted to ask you, how are you feeling about this being the end of the Hacks journey?
I still don't think it's sunk in completely. I mean, it's such mixed feelings.
I know.
It's nice not to get up at
4
4:35 in the morning. That part's nice.
Yes.
And the thing that Hannah and I were talking about the other day was that idea of not playing these characters again. It's like, but what if I want to?
I know.
I can't. You know?
I know.
What if I want to play with Deborah and play with Ava?
Oh.
No.
But no, it's very odd. It's very odd.
I guess she's the character you've now played the longest, right?
Yeah, I did 5 seasons of Designing Women.
Right. So similar length.
But
yeah.
that was very different because I had just gotten married and had a baby, and
Right.
so that was kind of where my head was. And also too, when you're doing a multi-camera show, you're not together 16 hours a day
Right.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and you're not
Right.
with the crew
Right.
12 to 16 hours a day.
Right.
So we worked 30 hours a week.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
what?
Sounds
Yeah,
so nice.
after season 1, I think
That's
we worked
nice.
30 hours a week.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually talking to Hannah about this today, which is like, we'd obviously, when we would go off to write, we would be a couple months off for you guys, but we knew we would be seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're in that time where really we would be already probably writing the next season, but just
Right.
knowing that that's not coming is obviously making this, at least for me, much harder.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I know it's interesting because we've seen you and we've seen Hannah since we wrapped, but it is weird when I watch the finale. I'm so sad because I won't see the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys. I'll be seeing you for a
Yeah.
long time,
Yeah.
but it's weird not to see them.
Yeah. We've been editing the finale. We just locked it like 2 days ago, and it is really emotional. It feels so sad to think of it as the last time you two will be on screen as these people and on screen together. And,
I know.
It's crazy.
I can see how it's hard for audiences because they don't know you as, people off screen.
Mhm.
They're thinking, you're taking away my friends.
I know.
That's not
Yeah.
fair.
I know.
And I feel the
No.
same way
I know.
about the characters that I'm like,
I
oh my
know.
God, I'm going to
Yeah.
miss my friends.
Yeah.
I think when we watched the show and when we were shooting the show, it felt like you and Deborah Vance were pretty fused. Your souls were fused. But did you feel like as the seasons went on, you got her more, understood her more, or felt her more as it went on? Or did you feel like, no, it was kind of something I just kind of got from the beginning, and then as the writing went deeper, I did? What was your relationship really to her?
God, it's hard to know exactly because the more that I played the character and the more that you guys sort of write for the actors, you kind of see what kind of works the best with the actor and their roles and things like that, then it's really hard to separate after a while. I think, more and more, I felt like I could just sort of react in a way that Deborah would react in a certain situation. I didn't have to stop and read and think, okay, now how is she going to react to this? I just kind of felt like I could.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was just
yeah.
immediate.
Instinct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I meant it when I said it was kind of all there from day one, what you guys wrote. It was like, oh my God, I have to play this woman.
What will you miss most about playing this woman?
The clothes.
Well, the clothes, yes, the clothing. I guess the fact that she kind of doesn't, she's a little unfiltered,
Mhm.
you know, she kind of just lets it all out, you know.
Gene, you said that this season there is more inspired silliness, which I think is right. It's a very silly season. But I also thought it seemed to me, and maybe I'm just projecting, it seemed to me that you and Hannah were having extra fun this season. Do you think this season being the last season, do you think it was different when you got on set? Was there anything different about it being the final season for you?
I think probably from the first episode this year, there was always that in the back of our minds that was sort of informing everything we did, that I now can see the end of the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Could think about
Right.
it before that, imagine what it might be like, but now we could actually see it. And that made everything, the stakes feel a little bit higher, and you kind of just treasured everything a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be that Deborah, when she would insult Ava, would be a little nasty, a little manipulative, a little bit, you know, pressing her buttons. And now when she insults her, she knows it's just going to be funny.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they're both going to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was that relaxation. There's a deeper bond.
Yeah.
I think. I think this is my favorite season. I really do.
I think it was mine too.
Which is amazing. I don't know
crazy.
how you guys did that.
That is crazy.
Because that never happens on a show. That's incredible.
I think everybody's seeing that it was their last chance to leave it all on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think everybody
that
upped their
did
game.
contribute. Everybody wanted it to be the best one because they knew it was the last one.
Dear listener, we should say season 5 is very full circle, and a lot of things come to pass and pay off that were planted in seasons 1 through 4. So if you haven't, it might be a good time to binge, to go back, to do a rewatch.
I agree.
Because we're reminiscing, we're having a blast, we're talking about things we
Totally.
loved, but a lot of the stuff that I think we pay off in this season will hit even harder
A
and
lot of
be a lot
callbacks.
richer. Yeah,
A
if you
lot
remember
of
it.
cool
I think
callbacks.
I think stop and go back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Stop,
in
go back.
3 days.
Although I do want them to keep current because there are some turns and some twists that they could be spoiled.
You could have hacks every day of the week. You could watch a hacks episode every day, but on Thursdays you watch the new episode.
Yeah.
That's a fabulous idea. We should call that something.
Then every time when you wake up, when you go to bed at night, you say I have hacks tomorrow, and when you wake up, you say I have hacks today.
Yes.
And then I have hacks tomorrow.
It's so nice
Oh,
to have
I
a hacks day every day.
Hacks
Ha-
day.
You
can
can
do a
have
double
a
header.
hacks.
You can
Hacks
watch.
a day keeps the doctor away.
A hack.
that's so
Exactly.
There you
true.
go.
You know.
So season 5's premiere is called EGOT. It was written by the three of us and directed by Lucia. This episode starts off with a vigil for Deborah Vance. At her front gate, a crucified Barbie hangs amongst messages like, "We miss you, Queen," and "R.I.P. return if possible." But despite what TMZ reported, Deborah is very much alive.
She has risen!
No. I was never dead.
Hallelujah!
Her career, however, not so much. She has been all but erased by Bob Lipka. So she decides the only path forward is to get a huge win, that win being EGOT.
I already have my T and my E, so now I need you to get me my O.
Oh.
Well, I was for Oscar.
No, I know what O stands for. I just meant, like a reaction.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
So of course, in Deborah's quest to win her G, her Grammy, she gets McKinsey to find a little loophole for her in the regional Mexican album, including Tejano category. But this moment was a long time coming in the history of hacks because we believe maybe season 2, Eugene sent us a photo of a hat.
I think you texted us the hat and said, "My friend makes these. We need to feature these hats on the show."
Yes. If I may, I don't think it was one photo. I think it was a few.
I do too. There were a couple.
So do you
one with the
remember,
crucifix.
do
one
you
with,
remember
yeah.
where
I
you
meant to have a
were
couple photos.
where these first saw these hats?
Oh, yes, they were actually my friend Beverly. She and her husband did gift shows all over the place, a lot in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband decorated these hats himself, and they were
Oh, they're
each one was
great.
a one of a kind, gorgeous. You know, and in Texas, they'd go to Dallas. The women in Dallas would go nuts for these hats.
Yeah, I bet.
It's definitely a big
It's
part of the
definitely a
It's a
episode.
feature.
I can't wait to see it.
It's so funny.
It's really
And you're quite
good.
good at
Yes.
this Tejano music.
Oh, thank you.
It's very good. It's very funny.
It's a catchy little tune.
I know.
Yeah, of course, I had to look up what she was saying.
Yeah.
And about her little porcelain stuff,
Oh.
kind of like her salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah.
Yes.
written by Carlos Rafael Rivera, our composer,
And David Stahl.
and David
David
Stahl,
Stahl.
an original song written by our composers.
Porcelana, que solo yo puedo perder, son las que más quiero yo, y solo son de lladro, son mi vida.
I don't know if you ever read this draft. There was a version where we actually had Deborah win the Grammy. So it's basically you see her wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go through hair and makeup, get in the car, go to the event.
Because her category is at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Because it's all day. There's so many
The
categories.
joke was that there were so many Grammy categories.
So you go,
that,
you don't speak.
Hers was
You're
very early in the morning.
You're in the background as all these guys are speaking Spanish, accepting the award. You get back home and you go, and Ava's waking up and she's just getting out of bed. And she's like, how'd it go? And you're like, I won a Grammy. And then you leave.
You're like annoying. I won.
yeah. So Deborah, of course, finds out that her work has been taken down by Bob Lipka, and she's very upset. And she decides she's just got to get back on the mic. And Eugene like doing stand-up in the show. Is that correct?
I do. One of my favorite things.
Yes. I mean, I can tell that you like it so much because even in between takes, you're riffing with the crowd.
Well, I always feel bad for them because they have to keep laughing and laughing.
They are laughing.
They're
Same
laughing.
but you
I know, but
entertain them in
over and
between
over and
takes.
over. And
It's good. It's
That's
good.
a hard job.
You're
It's a
out there
hard
tap
job.
dancing for the
Yeah,
folks.
you are. Entertain them laugh.
So Deborah decides to do stand-up with the help of her friend Marcus. And it's a really sweet moment when she gets back on that stage and the crowd is just loving her.
Here I am, back from the dead.
I mean, there's a lot of times this season where the crowd is loving Deborah, but it really is, and this is explored throughout the season, what the most probably lasting relationship of her career is with her and her fans and her audience. And you can just see that's when the light turns on for her. That's when she's electrified.
Well, making people laugh is almost kind of like sex, It's sort of like
Yeah.
Let's do it with a lot of people.
making somebody feel good, making 600 people feel good.
Yeah. If we put all the stand-up together, it would be interesting. Because there is a lot of stand-up in the show. I can't believe how much stand-up we wrote
There's so
within
much.
writing a show.
And you know what I've
How
teased
insane.
for Gene all the time is I think we should write an hour for
I
Gene to go
know.
do.
Yeah, I would
As
love
Deborah
an hour
Vance.
as Deborah Vance.
I
People
have
would
to go on
pay.
tour.
People would pay.
Okay, at least let's start here.
We'll do
in
a
L-
luxury
You sell
tour.
at a theater in LA. How about that? We start there.
Oh, that's
One
great.
theater in LA.
1 hour of
Greek.
stand-up.
1 hour at the Greek.
Oh my
Get her to the
gosh.
Greek.
That would be great.
Oh my God.
That could be really
My
fun.
next one-woman show.
Yes, you can
great.
do it. You get to put the croissant back on. That's what we refer to the wig as.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes it looks like a crawler in the back,
Speaking of Deborah's stand-up, in this episode, we do hear the names of the stand-up
I love these.
albums that were tragically nominated for a
right.
Grammy but
Those
never
were hilarious.
won. Just to refresh your memory, Gene, we have Not a Vance in Hell, Under the Knife, Over the Trauma, Live at the Mall of America, The Olestra Diaries, Live Free or Die It, The Deb Commandments, and The Best Things in Life Are at Sears, Deborah Vance Live, sponsored by Sears. Do you have a favorite
Wait,
of
what's
those,
your
Gene?
favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
The Sears one is
The
Sears one is
funny.
really
pretty good.
The best
really
things in life are at
good.
Sears. Deborah Vance Live, sponsored by Sears. And it was nominated for a Grammy. That's pretty good.
Now, as people may imagine, we, in our writer's room, wrote hundreds more of these. Thousands. Lucia, do you want to share some of the ones that didn't make the cut?
I'm going to share some, and I'm not going to read all of them, honestly, because now that I'm looking at them, there are too many.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
of course.
It would be a whole additional episode of the podcast if we read them all. That's how prolific our writers are. Shout out to our writers room. Thank you, writers.
Hey, guys.
So I'm just going to read a couple of them. Heel Turn, Vance in Pants, Vance a Lot, G.I. Deborah.
G.I. Deborah is really funny.
How did we let that one slip through the cracks?
Because I guess that's one where she's on like a USO tour.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so funny.
Tybo and Heels,
Tybo is so funny.
39 Forever, Attack of the 50-Foot Bitch, Sex, Lies, and Atkins, Who's Zooming Who, Christmas
love
with
that.
the Smurfs featuring Deborah Vance,
That's so
Slimmer
funny.
Shady, Too Many Pockets, We're Gonna Need a Bigger Handbag, and House on Fire.
Very good.
And I didn't
Really
even
good.
read them all, but that's where we're ending.
What
Okay.
a career she's had.
What a career. This woman. Prolific.
So after this secret show, which is very fun because we get to see Marcus back helping out his friend
Yes.
Deborah.
And all the gang.
And all the
Josephine
gang.
and Damien are checking people in and taking
Oh,
photos.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
We have Randy and Kayla getting people into their seats.
Yeah.
It's really all hands on deck,
Yeah,
which is
That's
fun.
right.
That's some of the
That's right.
most fun energy scenes to shoot, and you'll see more of them this season. Of like the all hands on deck, the gang is helping Deborah.
Mhm.
It's very fun to shoot those. But then after that, of course, there is a leak, and we find out that Deborah must go to court. However,
There's a
who
twist.
leaked it? Ava and Deborah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Sinful sisters.
Well, you certainly get a ton of FaceTime. For someone who can't be on camera, there are a lot of cameras, as Jimmy says. And so it's kind of a brilliant move. Which sounds like I'm talking about the writing, but who cares? I'm talking about the characters, but you know.
That courthouse is actually the mob museum.
That's right. That courthouse is
that's
actually the
right,
mob,
the
mob
mob
museum in
museum.
Las Vegas. Yeah.
You know, the other day in press, they said, what HBO show could you see Deborah Vance in? And we said Sopranos. We said Deborah Vance. We said that
Tony Comes to Vegas.
Tony Comes to
would've-
Vegas has
have a fling.
with Deborah Vance. Carmela knows she doesn't care because she loves Deborah Vance too.
She loves Deborah's comedy, so she's
I
like,
would have loved that.
Isn't that
I-
fabulous
I always had a
episode?
little crush on him.
yeah, very
Yeah.
charming. And we
That would
said,
have been a great crossover.
So, like, sometimes in the morning when I would like come and say hi to you or talk about the scene or something, you'd be going over your, sides. I'd like walk in sometimes and you and Hannah'd be running it. Will you miss running lines with her?
I'll miss doing everything with her.
Yeah.
Not that I won't see her. I will see her. But yeah, it's, I really can't think of another relationship like this in a TV show or a movie. And on top of that, she's such a unique person. And for her to be Deborah's foil was so perfect. And that first scene when they meet, I mean, it just set up the entire show. And it was perfect that you used that for the auditions.
Yeah.
I was teasing her the other day when we were doing the junket. I said, "Can I tell a story on you?" She goes, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." Because I don't know if you remember this, when she auditioned and she was so good. She was so funny and quirky. But she was like pacing
Yes,
back and
yeah,
forth.
yes.
Pacing back and forth.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know, and I
right.
thought, what is she doing? I went, I went, "Come here."
Yeah.
I said, "That was fabulous, but this time just stand still."
Yeah.
I remember. I thought that
I
was
remember
so
that too.
sweet that
She's
you
working the
whispered.
stage.
Yeah,
She's
we
Yeah,
knew you
she's
must
doing
have been
stand-up. She's
whispering
doing
like
stand-up.
advice to her, which was so nice.
Also, when you're nervous, you have a stressful phone call, you're moving around. You know what I mean?
Oh,
She was,
yeah.
She had never done it before.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And we did it in a empty soundstage with air purifiers and
I know. It looked like
plexiglass between
looked
them.
like she was going to be waterboarded.
Yes.
It was like one light. Where were you?
All of us with masks and shields. It was so scary. It was so
Yeah,
scary.
that has
for
to
her.
have been the most intimidating thing she could have ever been. Put
She
through.
said that she wasn't that nervous, partly because I'd called her the night before just to introduce myself, but also she said because I never in a million years thought I was going to get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
She said if you
Interesting.
want something that bad and you think you've got a real shot, then it's the stakes are so high, you just sabotage yourself because you get so nervous. She said, I didn't think I had a chance in hell.
Oh.
right.
She said, so I was a little not as nervous as I might have been.
Oh, well, I'm glad she did.
Right, that makes sense.
Pulled
You
it
don't
off.
think you have anything to like mess up.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Hannah was so, she wasn't like a typical starlet.
Yes.
No.
You know what I mean? I totally believed that Hannah would be that writer.
Yeah.
When she auditioned, she also did the scene with Jimmy when Ava says, I should just throw myself out the window.
Oh, I
But
love that scene.
It's a great scene. But
Oh, she
so
auditioned
many,
with that with
Yes.
you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so many actresses did it in a way that was really self-pitying and really
Oh, serious.
on the
Like,
edge,
I was-
serious. And she did it like a comedy writer would be like, I should just throw myself out the window. I should just kill myself. And everyone else was like, well, I should just do this.
Yeah. She like knew
She
to
did it
throw
like a comedy
away.
writer.
Yeah,
she was
in a
believably,
Perfect.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
and
was
that was-
believably a comedy writer.
And we were really stressed out about casting Ava because you were attached.
I was attached.
Paul was attached. Caitlin Olsen maybe wasn't, but we were trying.
She was semi-attached. She was reading it.
Semi attaches, and we were
Oh,
stalking
yeah,
her.
you had mentioned her to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
were hunting
hoped
her
she would
down.
do it.
Yeah.
She was really the only person other than me that we wrote with someone in mind.
Yeah. But Ava, we didn't have somebody. And so we were really getting stressed about that. But then when we first saw her first audition, which too
But
long
had
ago.
you seen her stand up before that?
No.
No.
No, not until we saw her tape, and then we're like, "Whoa, who is this? She's very good."
Yeah.
Did we look her up and saw her stand up?
Yes.
She's so self assured on stage.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and in her special, just absolutely owning
Yeah.
that quirky
Yeah.
thing and
Yeah.
taking long pauses
Yeah.
and not being afraid because
Yeah.
they
Yes.
totally worked.
I feel like she's like plucked from the 70s or something. Like she takes these pauses. She just was unique. She was really unique. So when we saw
Yeah.
her tape, we didn't.
Unique is the word.
Yeah.
But it was such a bright light because, like, when you start listening to the same scene over and over and over, like 400 people auditioning, and you're like, I don't think this scene works.
And then I'm
and
sure.
and then you're
I'm
like, I
sure
don't
it
know
must
if
be
It's so
hard
scary.
not
show
to feel
works.
that way,
Yeah.
especially if a lot of the people are not making it work.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
probably
And you're
thinking,
like,
oh God,
it must
is
be
it
the writing.
scene? Is it-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially after we had you attached, we were like, okay, great. We have Deborah. We need to find a good Ava. And it all hinges on the relationship and the chemistry and that one scene.
They asked us in the junket the other day. One of the questions was, which one of you is most like your character? And we're supposed to hold up a card that says Deborah or Jean.
Yeah.
And she has
Okay,
Ava or
sure.
Hannah. And she said Hannah, and I said Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Yeah.
that Hannah is more like Ava.
Yeah.
Oh,
and she
definitely.
but she feels that way
Definitely.
too.
For sure.
She feels that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you and Deborah have overlap. You
Oh,
know?
definitely.
You know.
Oh, definitely. We look a lot alike.
Yeah.
And she's a little taller than me.
Yeah.
Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
she is.
Yeah.
Well, she's always got
Um,
those heels on.
Different sense of style, I guess.
Similar laugh.
Oh,
Yes,
the best.
similar
You know,
laugh.
we talk
Yeah.
about you have the best
You know?
laugh in Hollywood.
I love your laugh.
It's true.
Your laugh is so good.
And it helps us in the edit so much.
And I got to tell you
It really
something.
does like can bail out a scene. Like
It's
if at the end of the
really-
scene we're like, just put Jean's laugh in.
I think it's easier to cry in a scene than to laugh. If you're not amused by something, to fake laugh is really hard. But
It
you
is
have to
hard.
laugh
But it
constantly. And you
doesn't
can't
seem
always
hard
be
for you.
amused, so it seems
Yeah,
like
but
really
it's-
easy.
You just
Yeah.
remember the feeling. And it
Yeah.
feels so good to laugh.
I know
Yeah,
it
of
does feel good to
course.
laugh.
So, has anybody asked you about the title? No one asked us once
No.
about why we called the show that, or why you called the show that.
No.
I think just because it's a known stand-up term, people kind of got it. I think.
It's just it has so many other meanings too,
Yeah.
though. Especially young people who
Right.
think of computer hacking.
Well,
Right.
the
You know.
the search engine optimization on it is unfortunately not great.
But
yeah.
you
But
know,
to
we had
me,
to fight for that.
it was like I was so glad you guys did.
Yeah.
Remember, I kept saying, "Please ask again,
I
ask again,"
know.
because I just knew that it was the perfect title.
Yes,
It
you
really
did. You were
is.
very from
And it
day
had a
one,
K
like,
sound.
Yes, you knew that it was good.
Yeah.
Do you remember the other ones we were kicking around?
The only one I
Oh.
remember was Queen of the Desert.
Queen
Yes.
of the Desert.
Queen of Nowhere.
Yes. Queen
And
of
Queen of
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Queen of Nowhere.
The one, the
Queen of
only.
Nowhere. The one, the only.
On her heels. Punching down.
Laughing, crying,
Yeah.
laughing.
I mean, so many not great titles.
yeah. Do you think we'd still be here if talking about crying, laughing?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
think so.
titles are important.
really
really
important.
Shall we talk about legacy?
Sure.
Well, the whole season is about legacy and rewriting Deborah's legacy. And who writes your legacy for you?
The three of us.
Well, well, sure. And Deborah wants to take it back. And at first, of course, she has this thought that, well, if she EGOTs, that's got to be, it's fact. You can't twist it. You can't bend it.
Mhm.
That's the fact. It'll be the
Mhm.
lead to any obituary. But she realizes that she wants to write it and make it about her work. Because once it's taken down, I think it lights a fire because her work is so sacred to her. It is her. It is her
Mhm.
identity.
Is there something, Jean, that you want the legacy of this show to be?
Yeah. I hope that the legacy of the show is this very unique partnership, friendship between these two women, and also that people just found the show incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Incredibly funny.
Me too.
Me too.
Same.
Same. You know, I said this the other day, but I think we've been so proud to feature both people like you, but also people like Meg and people like Robbie Hoffman who have never been on TV.
Oh my God, Robbie's funny.
You know, like people that we get to feature a lot of emerging comedians. I mean, I hope that part of the legacy of the show is that
Oh,
it
you guys have
allowed
been
people to
amazing that way.
shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of the great joys of doing it
Uh-huh.
is letting
Certainly.
the comedy world see people that are really special.
And Jane.
I mean, Jane
Jane
Addams.
Wind
is-
her up
I
and
mean,
push her out there.
I know. That's actually something I've been really sad about too. Is that, I mean, I would work with anybody in the cast again, but what a unique thing to have them all together.
I
To
know.
have Jane and Jean and Lauren Weedman and
Poppy
Meg and Poppy and me.
Rose
You know, it's
Abdu.
like, yeah.
It's
It's
just
Lori
Carl and
Metcalf
Mark.
and
yeah,
Michaela.
yeah.
I
mean,
It's just
and
such
Carl
a
Clemens Hopkins, all of these characters together.
Yes.
It was really cool to have these people all together
Mm-hmm.
in an ensemble like this.
Yes.
They all brought something to the show that nobody else could have.
Yep.
Yeah.
I laughed so much actually at Mark Indelicato with his one-liners as Damien. I'm like, so unique. Such a unique person, Damien, but also Mark's choices. I'm just like, I'm always just delighted by them.
Begging Marcus, don't go.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God.
He doesn't want to be the new Marcus.
I love in this episode when you get served at Boucheron and he goes, bitch.
Right.
He doesn't have much else to say.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest laughs in this episode is when you step into the booth to record the Tejano album and Ava turns to Damien and says, did you know about this? And he goes, without looking at her, yes. But he just is so dry, yes.
He's so nonplussed. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
He's so
He doesn't give a shit about her.
exhausted. You know, it is really funny. Just one line.
And that was actually something that we talked a lot about, like Damien being somebody that Ava wouldn't be friends with. Because it's like, why aren't they friends? They're like similarly aged. Like, but we were like, no, he doesn't care about her.
And when he said he didn't like comedy, remember on
Oh,
the bus?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
so funny.
I will say that I do kind of like when people are like, I don't like any comedy, but I do like your show. I am like, I really appreciate that. I mean, I like comedy.
I think Damien would like Hacks. I think he doesn't like comedy, but I think he would like Hacks. Yeah. But it is plotted in a way like a drama because the characters change.
Sure.
You
Right,
know, it's not like a
right.
sitcom where they're always doing the
Yes.
same things.
Right.
So
Maybe that's what appeals.
I think
Maybe that's
I
what
think
they
the plot
mean.
appeals to those people.
Okay.
And then they're there and they experience jokes. you
Okay.
know?
They say, what
let
are
the-
these things?
Yeah, they let
Yeah.
them
Someone
wash
Someone says
over
they
them.
don't like comedy. Are they saying that, oh, most of the stuff they think out there is bad? Or are
Maybe.
they saying that they just don't like humor? They don't like to laugh?
That's what Damien is saying.
Damien is saying, I do not like the physical sensation of laughter.
Yeah, yeah.
That
He's
is
like,
what he is
He's like, my
saying.
belly moves in a way
Yeah,
I don't like.
feeling not in control of my belly. I think that when people say I don't watch comedy, I think it is what you're saying, Paul. They want story and character growth and evolution and change, and maybe I think that in a lot of like half-hour sitcoms that doesn't always happen.
There's a lot of levity, but maybe not. You know, some people just want. Even for me, I like to escape watching espionage. You know, I like to watch something that's a little more
gripping.
gripping than some comedies tend to be. Even though I love comedy and I
Tension? You like tension?
I like
He
tension.
does. He likes to get scared right before bed.
But you know what I really like though? I love Succession. I love
yeah.
Slow Horses.
Have you seen Slow Horses?
It's Gary Oldman, right?
Yes.
He's brilliant.
Who I'm going to say on this pod is a fan of Hacks.
He
Passing
is?
him briefly. It's what I took when he said, "Oh, congratulations, great show." So that means to me, fan of Hacks, which
Unless he meant
Kill
this
to work with
podcast.
Gary Oldman.
he
hasn't-
may mean the podcast.
He hasn't watched the
as
show,
we
but he
know,
loves
there
the
is
podcast.
there is one listener who we have to shout out and thank her so much for her loyalty.
Hi,
Ms. Babs, Barbara Streisand.
Hi,
Thank you for
Barbara.
listening.
We're back.
Barbara, hi.
Hi, Barbara. I know that we weren't able to host last season. I know you missed us, babe. We're back for you.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, as always, Gene. That's it for episode 1. Thanks for joining us again, and this has been the official Hacks podcast with Lucia Aniello, Jen Statsky, and me, Paul W. Downs. Hacks podcast is produced by HBO Max in collaboration with Same Boat Studios. Our executive producers are Gabrielle Lewis and Barry Finkel. Our senior producer is Emmanuel Hapsis. The show is mixed by Hannes Brown, and our technical director is In-Sung Hwang. Special thanks to Michael Gluckstadt, Allison Cohen, Sorokoch, and Kenya Reyes from the HBO Max podcast team.
You can watch old, especially the old, and brand new episodes of Hacks on HBO Max. We'll be back next week to dig into episode 2. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.